Hi everyone, thanks for joining me for this week's question and answer video. Happy Monday. I do this every single week. For those of you who are new here, welcome to the channel. Please ask me any questions you want today down in the comment section below of the latest video. Make sure this is the last one I made. Come back next Monday to see my answers. If I missed your questions, I'm sorry. Please ask again. Ask me anything too. Repetitive questions are welcome. No bad questions, no stupid questions are possible. So ask me anything, okay? The only thing I ask is please tell us your locations. Let us know where you guys are at. I think a lot of us like to know that. So let's get right into the questions. There's a lot of them, so I'm going to try and go a little fast here. Calm before the storm. Don't know where you're from. Tell us your location next time, please. Thank you. I know you've told me before. I just can't remember. I just listened to your response. It brought tears to my eyes because you're the only human being in my life who genuinely understands how so incredibly painful this process is. My God, if it's just a level of brutal no human being should have to endure. I'm on the upswing, no longer waiting to take my life, which I am so grateful for. You have given me something that there is no tangible equivalent for, truly. Thank you. That's very nice, Nate. Thank you very much for telling me. Sorry for how you've been feeling. Tell yourself things that make you feel this way, okay? Start. Even if you don't feel it, just keep saying it, all right? Thanks, Nate. And Truth, 8497, I can't remember where you're from. I'm sorry. Alexander McCartney sentenced in United Kingdom court for catfishing thousands, including U.S. girl who died by taking her own life. October 2024. Please sign the petition. Thank you. So I looked up the case. Alexander McCartney is a pretty sick F-U-C-K. Total, I'm just guessing. Total antisocial, sociopath, psychopath, one of those, something like that. He lives in Northern Ireland. He's 26 years old and has spent the last several years catfishing young teenage preteen girls all around the world. He has victimized over 3,000 different children, and he pretends to be, he gets these children to send photos of themselves. He uses these photos to catfish more girls, get more trust, and he acts real quick, and he gets these girls to show pictures of themselves, and the second he gets like a nude picture of a minor, he says, "You are my toy. I own you. And if you don't do what I say, I will show everyone your nudes, tell everyone." And these children, imagine being 13 facing this. And some, when you're 13, man, your whole life are your friends and the school. They fear that they're going to be humiliated and rejected by everyone they know, massive trouble by their parents. And this is where it's really important to understand that when a child is in any kind of situations like this, even just being bullied at school, is that we have to make our children feel that we love them no matter what. Security. If children believe that you love them no matter what, even when they make a mistake, they can tell you. And that's what makes a perfect victim. Someone that doesn't feel they can tell their parents, that they need to handle this all on their own as 13. Massive trauma, hopeless, helpless, can't stop this, don't know what to do, all by myself, and massive fear. And this is how he controls these minor children to do what they want online, sending photos and nudes and stuff like this. They have found thousands of photos, videos of minors. He was arrested, I can't remember, a few years ago for online crimes, stuff like this. Can't remember exactly what it was. But he didn't stop, and instead he kept doing it more. And he was doing it more and more and more up until the day he was arrested. So he would have never stopped until he was forced to stop. Most people, what stops most criminals is punishment, getting caught and punishment. Just getting caught and no punishment, they might continue. The people that will assault people and take their lives, they start small. They might go stalk someone. They might go watch you through your windows. Eventually, they don't get caught. They might break in when you're not there. They might break in then when you are there, and then they might assault you, and then they might take your life. And it happens like this. I've studied too many Too many psychopathic cases, murderers and stuff like this. I've studied so many, and they're all like that. And there is no reform. There is punishment and fear of punishment. And when you get someone that's psychopathic like this, that doesn't care about repercussions, can't think further, very impulsive, immediate gratification, it seems to not matter even then. But a lot of people stop when they get caught and there's punishment. He got caught, there was punishment, they were watching him, and he didn't care. It just kept escalating. I hope he's away for the rest of his life, because there is not a single day that he won't commit crime like this. No way. If they let him out, he'll start the next day. Predator. Monitor what your children do online. Love your children no matter what. And make sure that they know that you love them, even when you're mad at them, even when you don't like them, even when they're very bad. You still let them know you love them. Please consider signing my petition. It's Stop Narcissistic Online Bullying. It fits this to a T. It's the #1 cause of young people taking their lives. And a young girl, I think she was 13, here in Virginia in the United States, took her life because she couldn't tell anybody. Because she couldn't tell her parents because she would be in trouble. And it was just easier for her to do that. And her sister found her. And that's what finally stopped this man. Please sign my petition. I don't know why you guys don't. And I say that because 90-something% of you do not sign my petition. And I ask why. And the only thing I get from a couple people is, oh, I'm afraid of my freedom of speech being taken away. Bullying, harassing, getting people to take their lives, blackmailing them, stalking them, has nothing to do with freedom of speech. You can go down in the comment section, say whatever you want to people. That's fine. But saying things that aren't true and threatening them and blackmailing them over a long period of time, don't you see the difference? Please sign my petition. Please. Stop Narcissistic Online Bullying. Change.org/stopbullies. It's everywhere. All you have to do is go to it, hit the link, and say, yes, I support it. Every single person in the world. It's sad that young people are taking their lives at an alarming rate because of this, and I can't get anybody to support fighting it. And I think most of the reason is because it doesn't directly affect you, so who cares? I do. I believe that. I don't believe people are so afraid of their freedom of speech that they won't protect children. It has nothing to do with your speech. You can still say whatever you want. If they made some crime that you can't do this, it has nothing to do with what you say to somebody online. Again, for all of you, most of you, almost all of you that won't sign it, love to hear a reason why. I think the reason I don't really get any feedback or reasons is because who cares? I do. Which is amazing that you've been through trauma and abuse through toxic people yourself. And we all want people to validate our experiences, to be heard, to be listened, to be seen. We want justice. But then you won't support this. It boggles my mind. Thanks for sending me the story. Anybody want to look it up? It's interesting. It's in process right now. I don't think he's been sentenced. Hi, David. Greg from Seattle, Washington. Hello, Greg. How far can someone take controlling behaviors? This is a long question. Sometimes I'll just answer them personally so I don't read them, but I think everybody can relate to this to some degree. Controlling. How far can someone take controlling behaviors? What do you mean, Greg? How far? Until you take your life or something? My fiance, little by little, showed her controlling behavior. At first she would say, you can't go dirt bike riding with your buddies just one day out of the entire, you can't drive out of state so your kids can play with your cousins without me going. If she couldn't go or didn't want to go, then no one went anywhere. You can no longer be with your family on the 4th of July in Montana, but now you need to be with me and my family. She was unwilling to compromise and do 1 year here and 1 year there. No more getting haircuts at the barbershops. Even if she watches me get my hair cut. She was always talking about how the person cutting my hair might decide to rub their body all over me as they cut my hair. She would say to me, how would you feel if I went and got my hair done and another man was rubbing himself all over me? David, how could my fiance be so controlling? You can't go swimming, boating, bike riding, go to the movies, turn on a TV, go to the grocery store, the mall, take my kids to their sports practices or games and everything else in life. If the two of us went to a restaurant, she would walk into the lobby, scan for other ladies, and be like, we are leaving now, because she saw too many women, which meant no dinner, no other dining establishments, and we will just go hungry, and she wouldn't talk to me the rest of the night. If we happened to stay at a restaurant and a female server came to our table, my fiance would grab my leg and squeeze it, indicating to me not to talk or make eye contact with the server. She expected me to whisper into her ear what I wanted to eat and when she would order for me, so I didn't interact with the female server one bit. Again, how controlling can someone actually become? The controlling was backed up with threats and follow-through of, if you do anything listed above, we are done. The relationship is over. Call blocked me, ghosting me for days, weeks, and months, just to come back with greater and more controlling behaviors, backed with violins, and sometimes even more severe violins as things spun out of control. When does this type of person who's so controlling wake up to the fact that they're the problem? Never. Never. Not at all. For there to be a problem, there has to be something wrong. She probably believes there's nothing wrong. Something wrong with you. They don't believe this is wrong. What she's doing, she doesn't care. She doesn't believe it's wrong. Now, would she lie about it to other people? Sure. She's a sociopath. She cares that people don't reject her completely and annihilate her and get caught and get exiled out of society. Sociopaths, psychopaths deeply still care about that. But she doesn't believe it's wrong. This is how she's lived her entire life. And she will merely find someone that she can't control all the way. And so how long can they do it? As long as they have someone willing. That's it. Right? How long can someone keep taking my money? As long as I'm willing to give it. How long is someone, how long can someone keep using me for sex in my body? As long as I'm willing to give it. That's how long. Because it will never stop. This type of relationship will never stop. It's all she knows. I mean, I can go into massive psychology probably about this and problems and things like this. But to answer your question, when does this type of person who's so controlling wake up to the fact there's nothing that she's oblivious to? From her perspective, she's better than you, and she demands full control over your life. This is the absolute exploitation, dehumanization. She didn't want you to have a thing. She didn't want you to have any needs or want anything or think about it or talk about it. Who cares how you feel? Shut up. It doesn't matter what you value me, and that's it. You believe I'm better and I'm the best and you need me, and you believe that all that matters is how I feel and what I need and what I want. I would imagine, Greg, that you did nothing but jump through hoop after hoop after hoop after hoop, and there was no reward, only punishment. This is conditioning. There's another question coming up about silent treatments and ignoring people and breaking up with them and leaving them for longer periods of time as punishment. The punishment is you are stuck with yourself. They don't do this until you lose yourself. So a predator wants you to attach. That's when they don't have to keep being, love bombing and stuff. And then after they attach, they want you to completely lose yourself. And they start by isolating you. You cannot have relationships with people. You can't have desires and interests and wants, things you want to do and stuff, unless it has to do with me. And you sit at home and do nothing until I want you. This is a sociopath who believes they own you, and they will condition you and condition you. They want to break you all the way down and build you back up. People say that narcissists take your identity and stuff like this. Now, that borderline might mirror you and take a fragment of your identity as their own. This is a sociopath who owns you and will make a person be who they want. They'll start with anyone. It doesn't matter. And they break you down. You won't get what you need, what you want, make you feel bad. Who cares what you believe in or what you value? Tear it all down till you have nothing, and then you don't want to be by yourself anymore. And then they leave you and come back and leave you as forms of punishment. There's behavior modification. This psychological abuse hits you, psyche and yourself, lowering all self-worth and self-esteem and self-respect. Until you hate yourself, you can't be by yourself, and your biggest fear is to be alone. And so you start to do anything you can to keep them in your life and not punish you and leave you again. This is a sociopath who will fight for you, who will kill for you, who will be loyal, you believe, all these things. And it's not because you're a human being, it's because you belong to them. The sociopath can seem very loyal when they talk about the people in their life if they have someone, because they don't want to lose that person that is willing to do everything they want, because they know that they're dejected by society and nobody can stand them. Hope that helps, Greg. I know that this is over now. I hope you process all of this slowly over time with somebody and understand all of it. Dwayne, Wade County. I guess Dwayne is in Wade County. Don't know where that is. Let us know your location next time. I don't know if we've gotten one location today. It's amazing. Is it just me, or is BPD and narcissism two sides of the same coin? Well, I'm not going to say it's you. I'm not going to say you're wrong. You're somewhat right. Mental illness, there's, many, 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 many illnesses and disorders. Many. And here we have it narrowed down to personality disorder. And even in the 10, it's narrowed down to 4. When you cross the line of personality disorder, you will have traits. It's overlapping traits. You'll have traits because you're toxic. You know what I mean? If you have obsessive compulsive personality disorder, one of the 10, you are going to be narcissistic. Everybody's narcissistic in the mid-range of the spectrum. So when you're more toxic, you typically become more narcissistic. People with severe depression become more narcissistic. People with more anxiety become more narcissistic because we're focused on just ourselves. Not so much how it's affecting others. We aren't aware of this. BPD is in the same cluster as narcissistic personality. It's going to be even higher in narcissism. Definitely more than neurotypical people. 40% of people with borderline personality disorder also have narcissistic personality, comorbid. It's rampant. Male borderlines are going to be even more narcissistic. Who knows if there's many borderline males that don't have narcissism. I'd love to know that fact. How many men with borderline personality disorder don't have narcissism? I bet it's rare. But even if they don't meet the criteria, they're extremely narcissistic. So it looks the same, feels the same sometimes. A borderline will act very like a narcissist. A narcissist can act very much like borderline. But there's a very distinct criteria. That's different. 5 out of 9. Thank you. Hi, David Cleveland here. Thank you. Location. I'd love to have your thoughts on Lori Vallow. I watched a documentary about her yesterday. You'd probably have to do an entire video on her. I don't know if I will. From what I remember, back just a year or two ago, Lori Vallow had a family in Arizona, and there was her, God, and I don't remember, and I didn't feel like looking it all up again and learning all about the details. You guys are more than welcome. Lori, Lori, and Vallow, Vallow. Mother who murdered her family, basically, in Arizona. The kids were missing forever. She never helped them. She lied the whole time. She wanted to represent herself, and still to this day, lies. Won't admit a single thing. Even to her family, nothing. She was in a cult and says that she's merely doing God's work, Jesus' work, that Jesus speaks to her, the devil has presented himself to her. Now, I know a lot of you guys are religious and you believe these things. So I hope that you don't just immediately go, well, then it's true. Lori Bishop is an obvious psychopath. Look at her picture, guys. Total psychopath. Every single thing she's doing is psychopathic. She got into a cult, but she also believes she's omnipotent, God-like. Matter of fact, God and Jesus tell her what to do, and nobody else, just her, and she's doing it. Not only that, she even believes the devil is talking to her. That's how powerful and unique and special she is. She shows zero remorse. None. She can have a conversation with members of her family, with judges, police officers, lawyers, and she will never budge. That is a psychopath. Imagine murdering your family. You're guilty. Would you talk to police and think that you can convince them that you're not? Good luck with that. The best professionals in the world to know if you're lying. And it's not hard. If you watch these interrogations, and it's easy. You know they did it. She thinks that she can fool judges, represent herself, and never ever tell the truth, yet still today. And it doesn't matter what you ask her about any of these people's lives that she took or anything. It's always about her. No empathy, no compassion, and no remorse is the most dangerous person in the world. We are all capable of evil acts, but we're almost all capable of introspection, of looking at ourselves, subconscious of who we are, and remorse. None. She can talk about her children murdered. She found them like this. Doesn't bat an eye. Doesn't change at all. A cold-hearted psychopathic killer. I tried to find if there was some diagnosis. They said only I could find is her mental state is so fragile that they're trying to get her to not be responsible for the murders in court. Unbelievable. If you keep lying about it, you're not just crazy. She's not just crazy. She might be considered, she might go into psychosis. I don't know, but she knows damn well what she did. She knows she murdered these people, and she doesn't think it's wrong. She even says that everybody's blowing this all out of proportion. It's not a big deal. She thinks she's going to get out. Psychopath. 1 out of 25, if not more. It's not that weird, right? At least 4 out of every 100. Thanks. Motown Girl. From Detroit, Michigan, of course. I don't know if this is a question is appropriate for this channel. I looked up the ex name on a local court page, and his name is in a paternity case. Do you think he should have told me when it was happening while we were together? The child is now 3 years old. I didn't know him then. I don't really totally understand your question, but if he kept a child from you and a paternity case from you, yes, he should have told you. I mean, and not only that, who keeps their children a secret? I mean, you have fathers who abuse their children. You have fathers who neglect their children, but keeping their child a secret? How many parents out there, how many of you guys had parents that kept you a secret? I was. I've been a secret. I've been a secret since I was a teenager. I left early. Doesn't tell anybody that I exist. No pictures of me in it anywhere. How about you guys? Parents made you look like you don't exist? It's not you, it's them. It's shame. They're ashamed of themselves and they don't want anyone to know. If you're just asking me, should someone tell another person that they're dating and committed to and say I love you to about children? Yes, absolutely. I think what you need to look at is why. Why didn't they? David Healing Family from California here again. Hi. Absolutely always love all your thoughts and answers. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. Who do you think feels worse? The quiet, high functioning borderline or the quiet, low functioning? Can you explain that a bit? Thank you. Well, you've got functioning and spectrum. And so first is spectrum. High spectrum borderline would be 9 out of 9, right? Criteria. Totally unstable, totally impulsive. They feel all these things and things are going on and not working correctly. That's high spectrum. Low spectrum borderline, 5 out of 9, maybe 6 out of 9. I'm sorry, low spectrum. Yeah, they said that. Then you have functioning. Okay, and this works with psychopathy. Same thing. Maybe I'll use that as an example, where you have the psychopathic killers on TV that took many people's lives. They would be high spectrum, low functioning, typically. Not all. Not all. You could have, I can't even remember the guy's famous case. What's his name? I can't remember. You guys know. I think he was a lawyer, went to Harvard. And he was able to function well, high spectrum. So when you can't just, you don't know what the spectrum is by looking at functioning, if that makes sense. A high functioning alcoholic says nothing about their drinking. It just means they can function. It means they go to work, people don't know they're drunk, and they get their job done and go home. That's it. So it doesn't mean that they're not completely wasted. They can just hold their own. I used to drink a lot, and I could hold my own like insane. I mean, I'm not proud of it, but bartenders would look at me and just be like, what are you doing with the drinks? Like, I'm giving you so many now, and you look as sober as when you walked in. Some people are like that, can function better. I can function better when I was drinking a lot in my 20s and stuff. It didn't affect me. I didn't lose a job. I didn't lose any relationships. I wasn't an alcoholic, but I was drinking a lot, you know? So you can't really tell how someone feels or what spectrum they're on just by their functioning. Typically, borderlines that have extreme low functioning, can't keep a job, moving all over the place, stop and starting relationships, can't do anything for themselves, constantly sabotaging, fail at everything, very wanting to take their own lives. You could assume that's extreme low functioning for sure. You see that, but you can assume they're probably high spectrum. You can assume someone that's extremely successful and functioning, not just a borderline who becomes a child therapist and doesn't lose her job. Someone that becomes a child therapist and becomes a very successful child therapist and writes many books and is well known or something, right? Very successful. You can assume maybe they're not so high spectrum. These kind of play hand in hand a little bit though, right? If I had to take a guess between two, if you show me one quiet, high functioning and one not quiet, no, a quiet high functioning and a quiet low functioning, I would assume the low functioning would be higher on the spectrum. But it's not definitive. Okay? Does that make sense? Let me know. And thank you. Kira Schwartz, me again from Germany near Cologne. Hello. Question about the borderline discard. Is it possible that it is planned before? Oh yeah. I noticed a weird change in communication patterns, sudden and unusual change from chat to mail. The event that was taken as lesson for following ghosting days later, it feels like it was prepared like a trap. Oh, sure. Yeah. You know, borderlines, most of them can't plan very far and stuff like this. But they can plan what they want to go do. That's wrong and bad and abusive. It's amazing. It's amazing. I know of borderlines that will start fights on purpose. Just that they're not even upset, you know, they don't get all crazy and rage and, you know, temperature through the roof. It's just, oh God, you're annoying. Oh, and they'll just kind of throw stuff around. And now that we're fighting, I can just go out and leave and not tell you anything and probably go cheat on you. This, I would guess, they split on you before they left. And they planned a little bit with someone else, waiting till I can leave, waiting till I get my last paycheck, get my stuff back, waiting until this person's ready to take me, because these people don't just Tarzan swing. They don't just wait to let go of you until they have the new person. No, they won't even go be on their own or live on their own. It's right from your house to their house. And they know this and they're waiting. I'll sit at home until some man saves me. You mean until a man that has a job and a home and everything already, and you don't have to contribute at all? And you just go from there to here. Disgusting. I think this is probably obvious by the way you felt, is that she had already split on you. She had already thinks you're bad and horrible and was already planning to move on to someone else. But it's totally okay to keep using you and exploiting you and not telling you until the last second till I can leave. Maybe she split so much she believes you're this horrible, dangerous person, then she can't let you know anything and needs to escape. That might be the false narrative that she built to the person that she ran to, so that she doesn't look like a total evil person. I'm sorry. Maybe it's a blessing in disguise. Rory from Ohio. Hello, Rory. Good evening, David. Rainy and cold in Ohio, of course. Only 9 more months. 6, 7. I've seen the words toxic positivity lately and was wondering if you could give some examples of this. Well, toxic positivity is no matter that you're depressed and what you're going through, you're trying to stay positive. Something I push. Tell yourself something every day that is a compliment, something you're grateful for, even if you don't feel it, say it. This goes in line with some form of therapy, counseling, coaching. I'm not going to tell you guys, no matter how bad and awful your life is just don't talk about it, keep smiling and say that life is great. That's toxic positivity. That is very damaging. Now I'm going to ignore my experiences, and so I just effed up and I just got treated horribly and I don't quite understand it and I'm not healed for it. So lots of shame. And so it feels so bad. I'm also going to ignore how I feel, which we are all good at. That's why we became victims in the first place. And we just build on more shame. We build on more depression and anxiety. We try to ignore it, which is ourselves. Now, knowing that you're talking about this, knowing that you're healing and recovering from this with somebody means you don't have to keep talking about it and thinking about it the rest of your day. Your friends don't understand, your family doesn't understand, and as you keep divulging trauma to them, it stresses them out and they don't know what to do or how to help you. So I tell my clients, you don't need to talk about it anymore. We don't need to talk about the trauma and the abuse while we're sitting at dinner. If you want to tell them how you feel, do it. Do it often. Tell them just how you're feeling. It's expressing this. It's connecting with them more. Everybody understands how you feel. They might not understand your experience, but they understand fear. They understand depression, sadness, anxiety, loneliness. They understand this. Tell them that. But you're already focusing and recovering and healing and doing everything you need to do with someone. So that doesn't need to be in every single second of your life anymore. Does that make sense? Stay positive, things like this, but work, heal on yourself and grow. Don't just deny and lie and dismiss it and numb it. That's how you get addictions. That's how you keep repeating this stuff. Okay. Does that make sense, Roy? Everybody else? Let me know. Traveling Man 9. Don't know where you're from? Let us know your locations, please. Everybody just tell us where you're from. Do borderlines narc discard to punish? Yes. Well, hold on. I notice anytime I try to set boundaries or keep her accountable, she gives me the silent treatment and or blocks me, especially if she's not getting her way. So, technical names, I'm not trying to be like, nope, but this is this. I see people do that in the comment section. This is actually called this, and what you're saying is wrong. And discard is just referring to, what do we discard? Garbage. Things we've used up, we're done with, serve us no longer, and we throw it away. That's not what she's technically doing. But maybe she might be so unstable and impulsive, she might totally at that second discarding you, done with him. Half hour later, changes her mind. Comes back a day later or something, right? I don't know. But it's like quitting drinking. There's stopping drinking and there's quitting drinking, right? If I tell you I quit drinking for 2 days, you might say, well, you stopped. Let's see if you actually quit. I wouldn't say that to somebody and discourage them or anything, but right? I mean, if I said I want to quit drinking, I quit last year for like 6 months, but I started again. I really want to quit again this time. No, you didn't quit. You didn't quit for 6 months. You stopped for 6 months. See? She didn't discard you. It's placing you on a shelf for later. It's silent treatment, ghosting. These kinds of things is just punishment. It's behavior modification. Say this is full of water, right? Just as an example. And your favorite thing in the world is a Snickers candy bar. And every time I see you, I've got one in each hand. Depending on what you say and do, I'm going to throw the water in your face or I'm going to give you the Snickers bar immediately. if you keep me in your life, eventually you're going to start doing what you get the Snickers bar for and not the water in the face. Behavioral modification. Again, she got you to attach, started being herself, and eventually she realized she had control of you after you lost a sense of yourself and you were scared to lose her. Do you understand that, guys? Losing someone isn't necessarily about the person. It's about what we're left with, because they're gone. They're gone. They're not here. It's a big void. I lived with them, went to bed every day with them, woke up every day with them, ate every meal with them, and now it's just me. And if I don't like myself, it hurts. If I hate myself, I refuse to do it at all. Go right to somebody else. Stuff like that. She was doing this to condition you, to control you. And we can't control people physically, right? We control people emotionally. Fear. Fear is the biggest. It's the biggest way to control someone. Do it. Right? I'm not to myself, to you. Do it. My best advice to you guys, when someone does this to you ever, hopefully never, you do what they tell you to do. Right? You don't fight them. Right? Stupid. If you care about your life, you might as well do what they're telling you to do, because the only thing worse is they tell you to do this to someone else. That's what she was doing. She was controlling you. And when they can't control you, they go to extremes. And Greg, back to Greg, eventually they will, might take years, but eventually they realize they can't control you and they're done. They might try to ruin your life afterwards, especially a sociopath. Raul Rodriguez, healing family from California again. 3. As you remember, we were discarded and I want no contact even when he would put lots of question marks for me to answer him. Okay, so finally my ex-fiance that has been hiding his new girlfriend finally added her name as a partner on social media. I'm disgusted to see he put the exact 2 emojis in front of and at the end of the new girlfriend name that he used with me for years. Out of hundreds of emojis out there, why do you think he's using the same emojis he used with me? Do you think he's doing it on purpose to make me hurt more? What are your thoughts? I don't know. I'm going to guess. My guess is that he idealizes love and relationships so much, there's only one perfect way to have it. Does that make sense? I knew that the emojis meant so much to me. They're my favorite emojis. I associate it with this person and this name, so they deserve my favorite ones. And this is how we're going to have the best relationship ever. My last relationship didn't work out. I tried to do everything I know, emojis, whatever he did, to say, I love you, I love you, I love you, you're so amazing, pay for things. I don't know what he did to get you. But he knows one way and one way only, down to every little detail, to have a perfect relationship. And this is the type of relationship that I want, that I idealize. And it's got to go just like this. I can't change it up and do something different, because then it's not this idealized relationship. He idealized you and having a relationship with you. Do you remember? Remember he idealized, remember he made plans and said, this is going to be the best relationship ever. We're going to make the best kids ever. We're going to have the best, marriage ever, or something like that. So he can't take a different route with someone else. No, this didn't work out because of her. Screw her, she's out. This one's in. And this is, now we're going to have a perfect relationship. And we just keep doing everything the same until it turns out perfect. And this is someone that probably has a personality disorder, that never looks at himself, therefore never changes anything. And it goes on the same and same and same and same. In other words, what I've seen very common with borderlines, narcissists, is that they will have a relationship with you and you're engaged and you're going to get married, and your plans are to go get married at a very unique place, very special, unique place most people don't go to. Maybe it's Iceland, maybe it's Africa, maybe, who knows, right? Somewhere far, somewhere you've never been to. It's the perfect place. And just because your relationship doesn't work out, right, and you're gone now and they have someone else there, it doesn't mean that we just don't continue. That's the perfect place to get married. We have to go and get married at that place. And they go get married at that place and they post it on social media. And you see it and go, God damn it. What the hell? He must be doing this to me on purpose. He knows that that was our place that we were going to. And now he just goes with her. And it might even have been your idea of the perfect place. And oh, you're right. That would be the perfect place. I'm going to get married there. Even without you. Who cares? That's one scenario. I'm guessing that's what it is. The other one is yes, he's doing it on purpose to screw with you. I don't think it's that case because he's tried so hard to stay away from you, to not have anything to do with you. My guess is he doesn't necessarily want you to see this, but he's not going to change. He's not going to do anything differently at all, ever. The cycle of intrusive behaviors, just over and over and over again, expecting different results, right? Very rigid, doesn't do anything differently. My guess is this guy doesn't even act differently around anyone. It's just done, 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 done. And there'll never be different results. However it ended with you is how it's going to end with this person. I'm sorry that you saw this. Do you need to look anymore? Is there any purpose that serves you to look at this anymore? I know he's the father of your children, I believe. Maybe they weren't your children, but he was close to them. I can't remember. I'm sorry. But do you really need to look? Have someone else. If there's something you're waiting to see or something that might happen, can you have somebody else do that for you and not tell you in case there's that one thing you need to know? But can you not look anymore? Because that's the only thing we have control over, isn't it? If I was to tell you if I was to ask you how did it feel, and you were disgusted, and your stress levels raised, and you were triggered back to old things in your life, what can you do about that? And I'm sure it wouldn't take very long for you to realize nothing except don't look. You're worth it. Take care of yourself, protect yourself, and don't feel like this anymore. Learn from this. Most people's behaviors and actions really are about them, not us. They just affect us. We internalize it. This guy's trying as hard as he can. He's doing all he knows to do, which is very limited. Last one, Ben from South Florida. Hello, Ben. Ben's been telling all of us, over the past few weeks about a scenario he was in, and it was sad. But Ben, after being abused by people, hit rock bottom. I think most of us have been there. I've been there. I lost everything. There was nobody around to help. It was just miserable. It's so hard to get out when you're so far down. And it's hard when you don't have money. It's hard when you can't find a job. And on top of that, you have not one single person there for you, supporting you. You can't afford treatment, help, talking to anybody. It's pretty bad. And sometimes we get these little opportunities and we try really hard, but it wasn't big enough. We didn't have enough to be successful at that one little opportunity. And we just keep waiting for more, Ben. I just want to say thank you for all you do for us in the community. You're welcome. Thank you, Ben. I just want to say, after securing my new job, I got a call from my boss. So he was in a situation, and catch you up. A married woman, got him a job with them, and she was just completely codependent and wanted to be in all areas of Ben's life. Ben asked questions. I gave him suggestions. He took them. That's over. He finally got out, finally got a new job. And here it is. After securing my new job, I got a call from my boss that they were letting me go. He didn't really give me a concrete reason. I was never late, even though I bike 22 miles a day. I worked hard, led my office every day in phone calls. I kind of got a feeling during training. My boss didn't like me after he asked me about my resume, and I could tell he was immediately threatened by me after that, seeing that I have a good resume. People at the office were complaining about going weeks without pay, so here I am back at square one, unemployed and facing eviction in 5 days. Every time I take one step forward, it's like 5 steps backwards. I must be doing something wrong. I mean, I get along with everyone at my new job. Any advice would help. Thank you. I'm just really sorry, Ben. Toxic positivity. Don't let this get you down. Don't give up. Keep trying. I know those things most of the time don't really help. I think what helps, Ben, is what I said previous. It's hard to get up when you're down, isn't it? I cannot stress enough how important support is, that we support each other. Is there anything I can do, Ben? Would it help to talk? You can contact me if there's something I can do. Let me know, okay? I'm sorry. But you can't give up. And you gotta wait for that next opportunity, or you gotta make it. Okay? You don't have to do anything, man. But I'm sure there's things that you want, and there's somewhere else you want to be. And let that motivate you. Okay? Let me know if there's something I can do, Ben. Thank you. And I think that's it. That is it. That's it, guys. Let me know what you think of my answers. Please ask me again questions if I missed them. Sorry if I misunderstood. Ask again. Even if I answer your questions and you like the answers, if there's more you want to know, keep asking me, okay? Think about citing the petition. It's right down below. But you guys better toxic positivity. Love yourself first, okay? Thanks, bye.